Well, we finished up our day. Went to Mohawk, trained a couple of babies. We trained over at Mohawk. We took who the hell we take? We took Captain Miraculous. Jody Jameson was there. He went with Captain Miraculous. I went with Autumn Wings. Both trained good. Track was really heavy. I thought we'd escape the tacky track here at the training center. You know, it was a little soft because all the snow that. So what happens is it gets hard, and then it gets this little layer of shit on the top of it. Oops. And I thought we'd go over to Mohawk, and it was 10 times worse over at Mohawk. My God, they get their work cut out for them and get that track proper for opening day on Thursday. Anyway, they train good. Also, in my videos, I forgot to mention Art Seeker. How the hell, and I didn't go back and look, but in my mind, I don't remember talking about Art Seeker and how proud I was that he won, and won like a racehorse on Thursday night. Robert Shepard drove him great. He got away back, came first over, ended up second over, 3 wide getting into the last turn, and drew off to win by a length in 59. Very impressive mile for this colt. Obviously, my expectations of him are lowered, so to speak. I mean, I spent a lot of money to buy a quarter of this colt last year, and really happy with what I saw Thursday night. Really starting to understand and turn into a nice horse. I'd really love to see him build on that moving forward, and I hope he will. So Art Seeker was a horse that I missed on the videos, and I would have been inundated with death threats had I not mentioned Art Seeker. So there's that. Now, on to the babies. So I told you about Autumn Wings. She trained well. Captain Miraculous trained well at Mohawk. Very happy with both of them. We will start with a couple of things. The movers of the week. Horses I thought were impressive. I tried to limit it to 5. 5. And in that 5 is a horse that I've gone with twice in 2018. First time was 3 weeks ago when he became the fastest colt we had at the time. That was Eclipsed. He retook that title belt, if you will, today. Always under the radar, nobody notices him. Old Maxwell Plum come out swinging today. I pulled into the track, and I was doing my first video, and I noticed Maxwell Plum pulling up with another horse. It went slow mile. And I had to go down to the barn and give Amy her drink, and I asked Ricky, I said, how'd Maxwell train? Oh, he's bumping, he's clicking, he's clacking. But, you know, when the guys go out there and train them, sometimes they don't really have them on their toes. As a driver, anytime I turn a horse in to go, unless it's like an old horse going a slow mile, I want to make sure they're on their toes. I want to see what they can do. I want to see what they can't do. That's what I'm looking for. What can you not do today? Well, there was nothing Maxwell Plum couldn't do today. I told them, I said, keep the harness on him. We'll go 2 trips with him today. First trip he went with Ricky in around 40, I guess. I went back out, went a much faster mile with him, and he was all business. So Maxwell Plum caught my eye today, as he's done in the past. So Maxwell Plum retook his fastest trotter in 2018 today, and looked fantastic doing it. I love this horse. He just seems like the epitome of an overachiever, and I really love sitting behind horses that always try to do more. And it puts a smile on my face to go with that horse. I rarely get to go with him, but he puts a smile on my face when I do. So Maxwell Plum is the biggest, by far, mover of the week. Very impressive here this morning. Also, I got to watch Curious Winter train. Looked great. I got to watch him from afar, but I talked to Ricky after. He went with him, and he said, yeah, he was very good. Dance Hall Babe, I didn't see, nor did I go with her today. I had to go over to Mohawk. James was skulking around, ready to go with Pogie Beach, and I try not to ask James for too much on the non-drone days, because, I mean, it is a lot to come over for 4 hours and train babies with us on drone day. And I don't pay him. He's my brother to do it, so I try not to bother him too much on non-drone days if I can. He had me standing there and asked him to go with Dance Hall Babe because she put on a bit of a show here the other day for Felix, my partner on the filly. And this is a filly I think very highly of. And she put on a bit of a show. The Angus Hall showed up in her the other day, and James went with her today, and by all accounts, she looked tremendous. I trained her in 2:25 on Wednesday. She came back with a 1:25 again this morning, apparently. By all accounts, looked tremendous. So, very happy with Dance Hall Babe. Final answer. This horse is really starting to put it together. I didn't go with him today, but before, if you watched his drone videos, he ran regularly. And we had a real problem getting him hung up properly and comfortable and fit on the track and in the right frame of mind. In the last 2 weeks, he's really put it all together. I was very impressed with him on drone day last week, and he looked great again this morning. The Butler did it. I always get Mark Treffy owns a piece of this colt, and he's always texting me, how's the Butler, how's the Butler, how's the Butler? So he finally sent me the message. He goes, did he make the top 12 yet? No, he didn't make the top 12 yet, but he did make in the mover of the week list. Looked good. As I was pulling in again, I saw Danny going with him. Yeah, I know. I saw Danny going with him, and I thought he looked great. The last few times we went with him, I kept saying, and Danny had said it also, that he thought his hobbles were a little tight. I noticed he let them out quite a bit today, and he looked great when I saw him going. So that's the top 5 movers of the week. Moving on, the top 10 horses in the barn. Now, today wasn't a very good day. The weather was inclement. The track was tacky. So on the days, on Wednesdays, or the days like this, we don't really have sets. It's just jump on 3 horses, go out and go a mile, because they're all kind of going around 230 speed, 235 speed. So it really doesn't matter whether it's trotters or pacers or what it might be. They're all going the same speed. So it's just grab 3 horses and go out and train them. Stretch them out a bit, keep them in hand though, and comfortable. And so it's tough to say this horse looked great or that horse looked great. The movers are simple. I mean, these are horses that I was waiting to come forward and did today and have throughout the week. So I mentioned them. Top 10 horses are pretty much the top 10 horses in the barn. This list is very fluid towards the bottom of it. So I would say when you're looking at the top of the top, you're looking at White Tiger, Maintenance Man, King of the Ball. Even our Vicka is a pretty well solidified horse in that top 4 or 5. And then the bottom 5 or 6 of that list can be attached to another 10 even. So you're going to have horses move on and off that list. Tomorrow's Headlines, I think, is a horse that belongs on that list, but we haven't been training him the last 10 days. So I didn't put him on it. Swandre the Giant did his work today, but he's still got some work to do to unseat a horse like Warwi Ultra or Linnea, horses that belong on that list. Also, yes, West 52nd. These are horses, and we could go on and on. You know, we're very, very fortunate. I start doing a list, and I'm like, I forgot about that one. That's how top 10 turned into top 12 last week. And really, we have 20 or 25 horses that I think are very workable, pliable, talented horses, and very, very impressed with them. And there's at least 20 more that are coming forward on a daily basis, coming forward. I don't see regression from any horse in this barn right now. You know, the only horse is Boldness, who we said is going to race towards the end of the year. He struggles to do his work, but he does his work. So even a horse like him, there's no regression. There isn't enough progression that I would like to see, but no regression from Boldness. And very, very happy with all the horses. And that's hard to say. When you got a barn this big, it's hard to say that, you know, this one or that one, I don't think they'll make it. I look up and down the list and I can see a few horses that I think need a little more time that might not be ready on the June 15th or July deadline, but for deadline or the line we'd like to have them ready by. But that doesn't mean they're bad horses, and that doesn't mean they won't be all right. The non-mover of the week is Oliver, as he's being a big sookie baby and a poopy head. Aren't you? He's a little grumpy because he was playing all morning and getting a little tired. He's thinking about picking his nose there, I see in the video, and he's not going to do that now. Are you? And he wants to get some lunch and have a little nap. So we're going to roll through these. This week's a little bit different. No drone, no big sets to talk about, just talent. So we'll start with the top 10 list. I'm a little partial to this horse, but week in and week out, he's been great, and he led up great again today. Made a little break on Ricky today, but Ricky, got to get rid of those gloves. You got some wicked cement hands on you. White Tiger, I think, is one of the most talented horses I've sat behind, certainly that I've owned in a long time, and I own a piece of Lawmaker. Lawmaker is a very talented horse, and I see the similarities between these two horses. There's quite a difference. Lawmaker's much more sure-footed, never wore hobbles, never needed to, quick, strong, fast colt, and it's very silly of me to say, oh, he's not durable. He never had to be durable because he's too handy. White Tiger is a workhorse. This horse is all power all the time, and it just seems like there's never any end to it. And I know he didn't touch his elbows today. We made a few little shoeing adjustments, but we're not going fast yet, so I'm going to keep a real close eye on that. But White Tiger is a horse that is really, really impressing me on a weekly basis. Obviously, the mainstay, Maintenance Man, trained awesome today. He went with White Tiger. White Tiger made a break in the last turn, and Maintenance Man put it on him, but it's not a big deal. Maintenance Man looked tremendous again today. There's a horse, he jumped in his ankle a few weeks ago. He wasn't tight last week, but he was looking really good today. Time Al Houdini is coming out of the clouds. The last 2 or 3 weeks, this horse has looked exactly how I needed him to look, and a little before I thought I would see this show up. I thought this colt's a little flabby, a little goofy, maybe not as focused as I'd like to see him at times. And then out of the blue last week, he threw in that huge mile, and then again today looked tremendous today. So Time Aldini, king of the ball. I mean, this horse doesn't belong in fourth. Any of these top four could easily be. And Houdini, I think, that's a little unfair. Needs to do a little more work before he knocks off the likes of Autumn Wings, Just a Tad, and Linnea started up that list before him. War We Ultra. These are horses that belong on that list also. So Time Aldini, I called it. I said I liked him. I think he's going to be a good horse. Happy to see him doing it. King of the Ball, again, looked tremendous again today. This is a nice horse. This is a fast colt. He's small. Will that matter? The New York Sires are mostly half-mile tracks. So I think that's a feather in his cap. But he's looking better with that snake cord in his mouth. So the snake cord is, you put the lines on the bit. They attach on either side. The snake cord would be like a cord, just a cord with 2 rings. It attaches here, goes through the mouth, around the jaw, and out to the other side, and it puts extra pressure on the mouth. So when you get a horse hot like him or like Autumn Wings was, and you sink into them a little bit, it puts added pressure on their jaw, and they actually slow down, and they're more manageable. That's the hope. Sometimes they fight it and they get a little hot for a few weeks. Both these horses understood that they were not to be hot like that, and immediately, which is very rarely the case, immediately they came forward. So really happy with what I've seen in King of the Ball and Autumn Wings as far as management goes, and it hasn't taken any of the velocity, if you will, out of their game. So King of the Ball still as explosive as ever. Time O'Tulo, inching in better and better every week, and was always good, just quietly always present. And this colt, I saw him on the track training today. I thought he looked fantastic. Don't make me turn you into Crybaby of the Week. You're going to turn into Crybaby of the Week? Oh, you want to go home? I see. Oh, we all got to go home. Anyway, Time O'Tulo looked tremendous again this morning. This colt's really turning into a nice colt. And then we got Autumn Wings, obviously the same. Trained good at Mohawk today. I'd like to see a little more progression out of this filly. Every week she looks awesome. She looks fast, but I need to see her look faster. And there's lots of time for that. And she's in one of those transitional stages where she's gonna I'm talking. She's gonna get into neutral a little bit and bump up against hurdles that she has to go over. She's working at them right now, but I want to see some progression in her in the next few weeks also. But she's week in and week out been one of our best horses for quite some time. Just a Tad has looked awesome the last 3 weeks and has looked great all year, but the last 3 weeks has really put it together well. Linnea, top marks last week, top of the class last week, looked great again today. This just turned into a really nice filly. I'm really excited to see what she's going to do this summer. And War We Ultra. The voices have subsided in her head, so to speak, and she's turned into what we wanted her to be week in and week out. Hasn't made a break in, I think, 2.5 weeks now. I haven't gone with her. I didn't go there on drone day. I didn't go there the other day. I didn't go there today, but looked great again today. So those are the top 10, I would say, right now in the stable. But that, as I said, that bottom 5 or 6 of that top 10 list, really fluid when you got horses like Tomorrow's Headlines at West 52nd. Yes, Candy Mac. I could go on and on and on. All these horses are always there also. So really talented group of horses this year, and very impressive. So let's roll down the list for the rest of the horses. Antigua Dio looked good again today. I'd like to see this filly start to fill out and power forward a little bit more. She's getting better every week, and very impressive last week, and good again today. But I'd like to see some raw power and talent out of her. I know it's there. We just have to start pushing. Before, we were letting her polish up, and I think she got a little lethargic and a little complacent, if you will. and I think I'm really waiting to see. I'm going to spark this filly up next week. I might go there on Wednesday, might go there again on drone day, but I think you'll see a big change in Antigua Dio moving forward. Arvika looks good every week, and I mentioned her briefly in the top 10 list. She's always on the top 10 list. Looked good again today. I almost took her over to Mohawk this morning. I'm glad I didn't now because the track was shitty there. But really happy with her week in and week out, and I think everybody should be. You can obviously see. I mean, Helen Keller could see she's got lots of talent. She's a really good filly. So I don't see any issues with the hurdles she's going to face going forward, and really happy just to watch her progression, if you will, over the next couple of months. Autumn Wings look good. Bay Jewel again looked good again today. Just putting in work. As I said last week, I think she hooked that shoe, and that's why she made a break on James. No breaks today, and looked good on the track. Be My Delight looked good again. There's a filly, not really worried about it, but her knees bother her a little bit. She's a small filly, and she's not heavy, so I'm not really concerned with her going lame in her knees. But when we blistered them, they both did blow up quite a bit, and she is a little stiff in them from time to time. We switched her shoeing around this week, made a few little adjustments. She looked good again on the track today. Certainly looked great last week and on Wednesday when I went with her. Better Call Mike. He's starting to look like a racehorse, Mike. Before he looked like the Tin Man left out in the rain. He was stiff all the time, and we gelded him and worked on his knees for 3 or 4 weeks, gave him some time off, and wow, it really paid off. You can really see the difference in this colt and how he looks. His demeanor on the track looks great. So Better Call Mike. Probably going to find his way onto the big movers list soon, but really happy with what I've seen with him since we gave him the time off. Again, I mentioned Boldness. Boldness is constant. He's looking marginally better every time he goes on the track. I call him Click Clack. You can hear him forging when he's trotting. But I think as he moves forward and fills out, I think that Boldness will be fine throughout the summer, and we should have him ready late summer, early fall for Boldness. Buckingham somehow found her way off of the top 10 list, made a break last week, but finished up strong. Looked great again today. This filly's already got it figured out, so it's just a matter of putting muscle on her and time into her and work into her. Captain Miraculous, as I said, went to Mohawk today. Looked good. Very happy with him. A little hard to get a read over there. We won a mile in 20, last half in 6, but it was shitty track, just really muddy and hard to get through. So I was happy with him. Captain Miraculous looked good. Cash in on me. Big Cash. How do you not find his way on the movers list? I guess maybe he can't 2 weeks in a row. I don't know. I don't know. Cash in on me looked fantastic. One of his owners, one of our clients that owns a piece of him, come out today. Couldn't believe how good he looked. And I told everybody, you never ever can tell, when the shoeing clicks, when the maturity cools down, maybe his joints are cooling down and he's finishing off a growth spurt. You start to see the horses come forward. Really happy to see Cash on me come forward. Mostly for me, because we have him. Mostly for the horse, because he deserves it. He's a hard worker. And mostly for the people that are out there picking up shares for $30 or $40 that people are dropping on the ground. And Cash in on me every week, I think, is going to prove me wrong. I said I didn't think he'd be ready at the start. He might be now, because he looked good again today. Where are we at? Curious Winner, one of the top movers of the week, looked great. This colt's got an abundance of speed. As long as we can keep the voices in his head quiet, he'll be fine. Casanova's Jewel looked good again this morning. Trained really well. Really impressed with the way this horse has come mentally forward. Very happy with his attitude, what he's been up to, and how he's doing it. Cruising with Angus was on the right line a little bit today and ripped his shoe off. But not a big deal. He still trained well. He was just getting in on the turns. I saw him train. Ricky went with him. But Ricky hit those big cement hands too, so I don't know if that played a role on him running in. But still did his work great. He's a worker, that horse. I love him. Dance Hall Babe, fantastic this morning. Dancing on my own, went to Mohawk Thursday. Trained good again, went a mile in 2:19 with Hold and Steady. Both looked really good. Come back again today, just trained a slow mile. Did their work well. Really happy with the way both of them are progressing. The Mohawk trips are really paying off with those big horses on the Thursday mornings. Delcrest Star Angel looked good again this morning. Danny's really happy with her. She is a horse that will not be ready till the fall, simply because she hasn't had the work put in. But good news is, mentally, she's got it. She looks good on the track. She's trotting good. Need to put lots of muscle on her, and probably around 100 pounds. But well on her way to getting all that done. Then we have Final Answer. Talked about him. Very, very impressive this morning. Very happy with him. Friggin' Biggin looked good again today. Todd said if anything, he was on the left line. Now we had 2 head poles and a Murphy on the left line, on the left side of him. So the fact that he's starting to run away from them means he's getting sounder and looking good. Simply take the Murphy blind and head pole off and see how he looks this coming Wednesday. I'll go with him. Hard 8. Look good by all accounts. Look good. Oh, Ollie wants to go now. Well, we're getting through them, all right? Hard 8 look good by all accounts. Again,
if you're talking, you keep on waking up.
Oh, I keep waking him up. Oh, you're very close to getting Crybaby of the Week. Meh. Anyway, Hard 8 looked good again today by all accounts. She's coming every week. She's getting better. I'm almost at a point where I'm going to take her over to Mohawk and cut her loose a little bit for a few weeks. She looked great again today. Holding steady, looked good again. Slow mile, looked good at Mohawk. I was very, very impressed with him. Ivanka, we're going to train her once a week for the next month. I noticed she trained great Saturday, Monday morning. She was a little peggy on that right front again. Just have to be very cognitive of the workload on this filly. Her weight's staying good, which I'm happy with. Her appetite is good, and her attitude is good. So, until we can see consistency from Ivanka as far as soundness goes, we're just going to go easy with her for the next 3 weeks. I think we'll just train her on Saturdays. At least we'll take a look at her on Monday and see how she is. Nothing that's not manageable. Obviously it is. She's coming forward and training great. So that's something we can take care of. Just a tad, touched on him in the top 10 list. Very, very impressed with him again and again and again, over and over and over every week. Candy Mac knocking on the door of the top 10 every week. And Candy Mac is one that I'm very impressed with week in and week out. I got to take this. So I had to take a quick phone call. I was telling Ricky McPhee yesterday, he was asking me, I had opened up my inbox yesterday just before we left for Mohawk, and there was like 25 emails in there in the morning. He said, how many emails would you get in a month? I bet you there was over 400 emails in the month of March that I responded to. But that's my job. I mean, I enjoy that. I enjoy conversing with our clients and making sure they feel that they're part of something big, making sure that they're informed, and making sure that they're comfortable and happy in doing what we're doing. So anyway, on with the show. We talked about Candy Mac, how impressive he's always been. He's always knocking on the door of the top 10 list, and I've never gone with that horse. It's a horse that I own a big chunk of. I don't think I've ever sat behind Candy Mac in a very, very long time. If I have, and I can't remember when. Now, with King of the Ball, obviously made the top 10 list. Linnea makes the top 10 list every week and looks good every week. Looked fantastic last week. Maintenance Man, again, geez, just a good bunch in this area here. Maintenance Man amongst the top of the class every week. Majesty Boy, there's a horse that dropped off the top 10. How'd that happen? Looks good every week. Looked good again today. I know that they were very, very happy with him. I heard Harry was saying maybe take the head pole off him. He was running it away from it, which is good. That means he doesn't need the head pole anymore, which he definitely did when we started going with him hard in January. So you see the progression in the physicality of the horses also. You see the horses start to come off lines, start to run away from the head poles because they're getting sounder. They're getting more comfortable on the track, and really, really happy to see that happening. Majesty Boy really needed that head pole in January, and the fact that they're saying now take it off him, it's a big deal. Oh, I guess Ollie doesn't want ice cream, everybody.
I do.
Oh, what? Oh, you can't want ice cream because you get Crybaby of the Week.
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
All right, you sit up and be good then and let me finish my list. Majesty Boy. Maxwell Plum, biggest mover of the week, fastest colt in the burn again. Don't do that. Look great again this week. Mo Better. Looks good every week. The one time I went with him, I really sparked him up, and I thought he was impressive, but I just can't because he never makes mistakes. I never get a chance to go with him. I'm going to make a mental note to go with this colt on Wednesday, spark him up again and see how he feels. Mr. Caper somehow dropped off the top 10 list, made a break 2 weeks ago on Ricky. Looked good again last week. We're going to get him back going forward again this week and see if we can't jump him back up on the top 10 list. Not an Angel, just slowly kind of crept off the list. She's done everything right for so long. I'm just so happy to see her quiet and comfortable on the track. There's no need to rouse this filly just yet. She'll be ready in plenty of time, and speed's never been an issue, so not an angel. Just letting her coast along right now and do her work, and really, really happy to do that. She's one that she's absorbed everything we've asked her to do and really learned quicker than the other horses. There's a horse that was really hot and then making a noise from fighting with us on the track, training, to now perfect. So really, really impressed with her. Oso Pine got gold. Oso Pine has looked great all along. Looked good again today. I know they went with him and said he's looking fantastic. So he say somehow there's another good horse that somehow dropped off the top 10 list, but I'm sure he'll find his way back on there soon enough. Quartz Blue Chip looked good again today. Slowly getting better. I wish I'd see her. You can see her get aggressive, but at the end of the mile, you can also see her weaken. I wish I saw a little more grittiness out of this filly, but happy with what I've seen on the track. Sound, pacing good, looks good. Very happy in that regard. So we'll see where she stops and starts as we get closer to qualifying time, but looks good on the track. Ready for the Beach looked awesome again today. This colt really, really, really impressed me since we gelded him. Another success, I think, from castration. You know, when you look at Sunshine's Finest and now this colt, they're going to be the pillars as far as why we castrated the horses and success stories, I think. In doing so, we left Time Al Houdini a stud, and he's been fantastic. So it's really on a case-by-case basis, but I really think the castration helped Ready for the Beach, because since we castrated him, he is all business on the racetrack. Rock on the Roll quietly looks good every single week. Looked good again this week. I'm going to snap him over to Mohawk one of these days and really loosen him up and see how he feels and stretch him out. He's been going since long before most of these horses. Him, Bay Jewel, and those horses were purchased way before everybody else. So he's actually got a month's more work than everybody else. So I think we'll cut him loose next week at Mohawk.
That's horse.
Oh, really? RV LeBron. I don't know if I mentioned this. I have it marked here. RV LeBron, another little segment we're going to do is a horse to watch. A horse that I'm going to say is going to make the biggest mover of the week next week or in the next few weeks. And I can't for the life of me believe I'm about to say this, but RV LeBron. I went with this colt and trained him in 26 on Wednesday. He looked fantastic. And I watched them train him again today, and he looked good again today. I guess you never know. Nothing will make a bigger fool of you than a horse, I guess. And for me, I really thought this horse just didn't care, didn't have the right attitude, and didn't want to do his work. I really just thought he was amongst the bottom rung. And you could see he was getting better and better and better. But what I've seen out of this colt in the last 2 weeks has been really something just short of remarkable. I see a much more focused horse. We went from a horse that was hitting his knee and wearing trotting hobbles to putting heavier shoes on him. So this is a curious thing. Sometimes you see the horses. The biggest problem when horses hit their knees is they'll come up and they'll hit the knob, the point of their knee as we call it. And that's a problem because that's when their knee will blow up. And that's what Stolen Dance does sometimes. And her knee bothers her a little bit sometimes, as it does with RV LeBron. So we put a heavier set of shoes in RV LeBron with the hopes we could get him up over his knee. And we did. Took the hobbles off him, trained him Wednesday with no hobbles, no go straights, never touched his knees, and looked great again today. So you never ever know when these horses are going to, what's going to spark them up, what's going to spur them to do their work properly and start to come forward. And you never know when they're going to do it. And this horse, as shocking as it is to me, I believe we're going to be talking about this guy in the near future on the serious movers list. This colt really looked good today, and I'll give it to him. You know, I really thought very little, and I own the vast majority of this colt, and I thought very little of him up until the last 2 weeks. Sure, he looked good. He's a full brother to Wind Chaser, but never really showed me enough to say, geez, I really like him. He's got a bright future. He'll be doing great things. I never really had that thought process with this colt. I just thought he was there and really didn't want to be. And I was wrong. And you never, ever know when these horses are going to jump forward. Him and Cash In On Me exploded forward last week. Really, really happy to see them both coming forward. And I can't say enough about how good RV LeBron looked today. Screaming Hawk looked great again. I watched him train. One of the clients that owns a piece of him was out watching him go. You can see how smart this colt's getting to. Still got that little Angus Hall switch in his head. You got to watch. But progression and hard work will get there. So a little hard labor, if you will be the cure for the Screaming Hawk's ailment, which is squarely in his head. but looks great trotting on the track. Very strong as he ever was. See You in Tuscany started back his first training miles this week. Looks healthy, looks good. Very, very happy to see him starting to get healthy, and happy and very lucky that we caught it. So hats off to Dr. Chris Grosenbacher for diagnosing this horse, I think, completely correctly. It's a hard thing to do. Horses can't talk. When you see white counts and you see troubles and signs and stop signs, and you got a veterinarian and a trainer has to take in all these things and try and figure out exactly where this horse was, where this horse had an abscess, and I believe Dr. Grosenbacher got it right. And I fancy myself a pretty decent trainer and a decent horseman, and I've been doing this a long time. I wouldn't have diagnosed this horse with an abscess in his lung, and for Chris, for Chris Grosenbacher, Dr. Chris Grosenbacher, great job on See You in Tuscany. Stolen Dance looked good again this week. Didn't train her today because she did hit her knee the other day and it blew up a little bit. That happens from time to time. It happened with RV LeBron. It's happened with a number of horses here. Tama Houdini hit his knee once. So not a big deal. Just going to work on getting the swelling out of that. And it's just like a bruise. Just like you banged your knee. Just exactly like banging your knee. And it blew up a little bit. Little bruise on the point of the knee. We can fix that. And I think the way she was trotting the other day, she was actually coming up over her knee. So I don't think there's going to be an issue with her moving forward either. Which is shocking because she does stand off. But I think we got her in a spot where she's going to trot forward and clear. Hey, shh. I'm almost done with my horses. Springbridge Proud. I didn't train him. We were going to train him today, and I said, nope, just give him one more training day off to let that foot finally fill in. I can't believe how tough this horse is. Not one lame step in that entire ordeal. He's in the home stretch now. I think we got it all cleaned up. We're ready to almost fiberglass that. It's grown down a little bit and looks great. He never took a lame step. I still can't believe how tough this little horse is. Looked great on the track jogging, and I think as soon as we turn him, he's going to explode forward, that colt. Stonebridge Loyal looked good again today. Thought she's getting a little fat, that filly. Said to Johnny, that's the problem. When you try and go easy on them for too long, they're going to get a little fat. So I said she's had 2 months of easy labor. I'm going to put her through the ringer this week. Stonebridge Loyal is coming forward in this week. So I think you're going to see a huge difference in her next week. Stonebridge Simba, easy day, trained well. Looked great last week, looked great Wednesday, and looks great every single week. So very, very happy with Stonebridge Simba. Sunshine's Finest, found out what that problem was. He had that little roll in his gait last week, popped a curb, left hind. Not a big deal, but you cannot rush with curbs. I would suspect the pain attributed to a curb at the back of the hock popping out, that ligament, would be like when you put on a new pair of shoes and that you get that pain in the inside of your foot, except it's not popped out. I would assume, maybe I'm wrong, but I would assume that's what the same type of annoyance and pain level in that. So that's easy fixed. Cool it out, cryo it, give him another week and start him back. He may not be on the list to train. Watch yourself, bud. He may not be on the list to train next Saturday, but nothing to worry about. Very, very happy we caught it. Something that's very fixable and treatable. Sunshine Inn looked good again today. Looks good every week. She's kind of been in the mix the last little while, so I think we're going to cut her loose next week and really, really put the hammer down with her and see what she can do. It's been a while with her. She's been doing it right for so long. She's had the last 2 or 3, maybe 4 drone sessions where she just did her work good. I want to see her jump forward this week, and I think she's more than ready to and happy to. Don't turn that up, buddy. I got to do my video in a second. Almost done. Swandre the Giant looked great again this morning. Looks great again every week. You found my chips? I thought you wanted ice cream. Oh, you wanted chips instead of ice cream? Oh, so you're going to put the chips back. Oh, I see. Swandre the Giant looked great again this morning. Looks great almost every week. Made a little break last week when I ran in front of him. Don't do that, buddy. When I ran in front of him. But looks great otherwise. A Butler did it. Made it onto the biggest mover, one of the biggest movers list this week. Looked great. Very, very happy with what I've seen with him. And then we got Too Far Gone. Too Far Gone. Don't, bud. Too Far Gone looked good again this morning. She did her work. Ollie, sit back for a sec, bud. So Too Far Gone looked great again this morning. I think somebody said to me last week that Too Far Gone looks like a working man's Arvika. And I laughed when he said it because they do look similar. One doesn't wear hobbles and one does, but they have a similar type of gait. Only thing is, our Vic has already got that muscle packed onto her, and she uses every ounce of it. And Too Far Gone's still a big flabby filly who's trying to learn how to pack that muscle on and use it, but lots of time yet. Be very careful. Too Far Gone is coming forward on a daily basis, and their feet are all cleaned up. It was very shocking. She had all them quarter cracks, a real problem, but nothing. What are you, a cat? Nothing as of lately. Nothing as of lately on the Too Far Gone front. Oh well, I guess you don't want ice cream if you're gonna be bad and sit in the back window.
I do want ice cream.
Oh, you do want ice cream, so I guess you're gonna sit there and be a good boy. We're gonna talk about White Tiger in a minute, and he's your favorite horse, isn't he?
Yeah.
Okay. Tomorrow's headlines.
And then like Toasty's better than
Toasty's, he's an old horse though.
No.
Toasty's is an older horse. Do you know what? Toasties and White Tiger, he's talking about Tortola Sunrise. Toasties and White Tiger, same daddy.
Yeah,
Same daddy.
but I like them
Okay,
both.
let me
the
finish up.
same.
So tomorrow's headlines is, obviously we gave him that. It's going to turn into 10 days, not 2 weeks. He's getting crazy in the barn. He's attacking horses and humans with 2 weeks off, no training. So we'll probably go back to training him on Wednesday morning. Twinsburg looked good. Broke her maiden the other day, winning her training session. She's the one that pins her ears right in her neck when she's around other horses. Hey, absolutely hates horses, but looked good again training today in the off-going. So I really think she's starting to stretch into her hobbles and figure it out. So as long as she continues to progress physically and mentally, I'll be happy, and everybody else will be happy also. Where are we at? Time Houdini was on the top 10 list. Looked great. Oliver, sit in your chair right now. Yeah, sit in your chair right now.
I want cord.
Stop.
Cord in here.
Time Houdini looked great on the top 10 list this week. Also looks great. And Tulo also, both of them are back-to-back, made the top 10 list and are really, really starting to shine. We got some really good Ontario sired horse this year. If you think about it, Pennsylvania, we have Simba, Just a Tad, White Tiger, and I know I'm missing some, but I'm just off the top of my head. New York, we have the Butler Did It, but we have King of the Ball. Indiana, we have Swandre the Giant, Bay Jewel, and Mr. Caper. Illinois, we have Ivanka, Not an Angel, and Hold and Steady. Yes, and Hold and Steady. Ontario, Maintenance Man, Sunshine's Finest, Sunshine Inn, Linnea, Time Houdini, Time Tulo, the Little Angus Colt, Cruising with Angus. We've got some powerful horses here in Ontario. And really across the board. Ohio, don't even get me started in Ohio. West 52nd, Curious Winner, Majesty Boy, Too Far Gone's going to turn. I mean, we really have 10 horses that I can look at. 10, Candy Mac, 10 horses for Ohio. We're really lucky across the board to have some horses. Ontario is one of our toughest jurisdictions. So Time Houdini and Time Tulo are going to be holding down the fort this summer in Ontario on the Square Gators, the Trotters, for this season, hopefully. Warwi Ultra, Ontario filly. How'd I forget her? Warwi Ultra looked fantastic the last few weeks. Looks fantastic every week. She's an Ontario bred trotting filly. Made the top 10 list. West 52nd, Ohio bred. Staked the Grand Circuit stuff. This is a really, really talented colt. Serious colt. I'll get to White Tiger last. Yes! Ohio. Another Ohio bred. Looked great again today and has looked great. James said he's fantastic 2 weeks ago when he went with him. And then we got White Tiger. And White Tiger, you can't say enough about this colt. He's it's early, so you don't want to start spouting off about, oh, he's a total package and he can do this and do that. He's still got a lot to show. But what he's shown is that he's all talent. So the only thing that can possibly hold White Tiger back is sheer talent. If God just didn't give him enough and we get to the qualifiers and he flattens out, that will be that. I just don't see that happening. Horses don't do what he does on a regular basis and then just fall apart at the qualifiers. They do from lameness, sickness, but not often you see a really, really good horse trained down really good and then all of a sudden fall apart and disappear. Not often. I guess you should say maybe more times than I'm letting on, but I don't think he's going to in this case. White Tiger does everything right and seems to have an abundance of power. So White Tiger, again, him and Maintenance Man, I guess, and King of the Ball, and those horses are tops on my lists, so to speak. But really, really impressed with the horses we have. Not very often you can say, honey, don't touch that stuff. Not very often you can say, a horse looked really good, or this many horses look good. I don't want to continue to talk up the horses if they don't need talking up. But man, oh man, last week was the best throwing session we've had in maybe ever. And this week, Saturday, they trained great, and really impressed with the horses going forward. Like I said, I'm an optimistic person. You can call me out on it if you want. But name me 5 or 10 horses that just don't look good in this barn. We have some that are coming forward. Sure, Boldness is a long way to go. Too Far Gone has a long way to go. Or not Too Far Gone. Cash In On Me. Horses like that RV LeBron, horses that didn't look that great the last few weeks, that you knew was going to take time to come forward, and now they are already. So for me, I couldn't be happier with what I see in the barn. I couldn't be happier with what I see on the track, and just makes me really excited for the 2018 season. So for those of you out there who watch these videos, Curtis has gone away. But, and that's dedication on Curtis also. Curtis has gone away. He's in Las Vegas this weekend. But he's going to take these videos and chop them up. I don't know if he'll be able to put videos on. I don't know how he does it. We'll see. We're going to try and chop these up into 3 segments. So, racehorses, first part of the babies, second part of the babies. Do not forget, open house, Mother's Day, May 13. We already have 85 RSVPs, I think, around. And we're a month away. I talked a beverage company into sponsoring it. We're going to have some beverages out here. They said maybe, charge $1 a pop, $1 a beverage. It's like ginger ale and ginger beer. It's very, very good stuff. Maybe charge $1 a drink and donate it to a suitable charity. And of course, one that we're, obviously with this amount of horses, one that we're interested in is OSAS, the Ontario Standardbred Adoption Society. I think that's an important charity to be donating to. So thestable.ca will match dollar for dollar any dollar donated for the beverages. And I would hope it would be great if some other people come, and we're going to have a donation box there for OSAS also. It'd be really cool if we could raise upwards of $1,000 or so for them. That would mean a lot to OSAS, mean a lot to us. So for me and everybody at the stable, and Ollie, who's dying to go get, what are you looking to get again?
Ice cream.
Oh, and for Ollie, looking to get ice cream. Thank you for taking the time to watch these videos. It's really fun making them. I enjoy it, and I enjoy keeping you informed. So for me, you have a great weekend. I guess the weekend's over by the time you see this. Have a great week. I hope this brings some joy to your Monday. Bring some joy to Ollie. Okay, tell everybody bye-bye. You're going to get some ice cream.
Bye-bye. Going to get some ice cream.
So, have a great week. Talk to you soon. Take care.